There are only two strategies that you need to know to grow your account fast. And although that might be a little bit of a white lie because there's a lot of different strategies out there, in this video, I'm not only going to show you what they are, I'm going to show you exactly how I use them to grow my personal account from 98,000 to just over 257,000 in less than 12 months. And listen, that doesn't always happen. Okay, trading is risky. So what I'm going to show you is my results. It doesn't necessarily mean to say that these are going to be your results, but before you just think I'm just another internet guru pulling numbers out of thin air, every single trade that I took was recorded live with my community Monday through Friday in front of people in real time. So you talk about transparency, right? I mean, at this point, I'm thinking about just wearing like a body camera whenever I trade. So, but anyways, let me just be clear and upfront. Okay, I'm not a rocket scientist. I actually didn't even go to college. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not some suit wearing institutional guru who uses words like risk parity models unironically. All right. I'm just a guy on YouTube who makes music sometimes, has kids, has nothing to prove, and day trades for a living. And somehow, despite all that, I figured out a way to consistently extract money from the markets. But let's just be clear, it took me 6 years of blowing multiple accounts, overthinking trades, questioning my life choices to finally get this right. And now I run a very small group on the interweb on a platform called School, a community where we teach people and show them what I'm doing. And if I'm not, trading, I'm in here roasting people on their trade setups and just living in here. I love this community so much. In fact, let me just show you like some. I know I said my results are not your results and vice versa. In fact, some of my students have even better results than me when they're first starting out. Here's Jamie. Like, imagine this was your first week trading, 11 trades, 9 wins, 2 losses, 15% growth on his account. He says, I've taken 4 trades on Nasdaq. In the lives, he trades live with me. He's in the live room. 5 trades on his own. So congrats to you, Jamie. I'm learning in the classroom. The 2 biggest losing trades I had this week came from me being too eager, impatient, and wanting to just be in a trade. Which, yeah, that's a big thing, right, guys? So the key takeaway here: wait for the setups. Love the first week. So thankful to the community, especially Mike and Troy, onwards and upwards. Yeah. I mean, me and Coach Troy and myself are in here Monday through Friday. And in fact, just the wins in here alone, we're absolutely crushing it. I have a strategy that I'm going to show you hasn't had a red day in 2025. It's wild. But yeah, like these are 87, 84 comments. We do this thing every week. It's a game, TMT games. You basically win a prize. This week it's $50 for just posting your wins in here. And then we randomly choose a winner. But the wins are incredible, man. Like you come in here and you can see everything that people are doing, that why they're setting up the way they are. You can, like Ed is really good at breaking down his trades. Zach is pretty new here, crushing it, man. Just so many wins. And you go down the list here and you start looking and you just go, wow, man, like everyone in here is just absolutely crushing it using this strategy. And anyways, I'm going to show you what it is, but I want to take a second. The link is in the description if you want to join this. I put literally every single day. I put my trades of what I've done that day. I put it in the group or in my Instagram somewhere, and it's on recording. But you can see, like even tomorrow, we have a Crazy Horse event. I'm doing a 2-hour live back testing session tomorrow, Sunday. Yes, um, if you're just catching this video now. But anyways, I'm going to take 100 trades tomorrow, and we did this last Sunday as well. And let's see, Crazy Horse. If I type this in up at the top, it'll probably pop up. You can see first time fully trading Crazy Horse, first trade with Crazy Horse. Here's the back testing results from last week, right? 42 wins, 17 losses. And what I did was the first half of this back testing session, I basically used a hard stop instead of a dynamic stop. So a hard stop is going to be where you're out of the market, so whether it's 1 to 1, 1 to 2, risk to reward. But what I did was on the second half of the backtesting session, I used a dynamic stop. And a dynamic stop is a little different. Like I'll show you here using Crazy Horse, just what a dynamic stop is so you get an idea of what that is. It's where, you have a stop loss, but the stop loss is a soft stop. You're not out of the market unless the price reaches your invalidation zone. And so you have to size appropriately for that, right? So that's a big part of the training is like, instead of just focusing on your entry model, let's get a really good daily bias going. Let's get like, where's the momentum of the market? Where's structure even? Like, take it back to like the basics, right? And if everything's looking good and you end up having a daily bias to the upside and you take trades that are, you have a setup that's going long, what I find is that a lot of traders just get stopped out, stopped out, stopped. It's just like paper cut, death by 1,000 cuts. And so instead of that, we use a dynamic money management system. So in fact, you would have held this trade, break even is somewhere around here. And this is another setup to go long on Friday as well. And you can imagine if you held to this point right here, these two trades, that would have been pretty nice profit. And we also don't just have take profit levels, right? So one thing that I show is the shelf method. Like here is a shelf. It's no wonder price bounced right there because that is an actual shelf. And so this just allows you to trail price and get the maximum out of your wins. And if you were trailing up here, you'd be out like right about there. So you'd have both these trades out right about this spot here. But anyways, let me actually break this down for you, okay? So let's go back. I am just going to show you Crazy Horse first, since it's so popular right now. I'm going to use a random bar, okay? So we're going rando. Who knows where we're going to go, but I do have 3 different charts up here. I'll show you what they are. Just a regular 5-minute chart. Then I have the Crazy Horse band, TMT bands, and I have a daily chart up here. And so we can see on the daily, we're in this uptrend above the 21. So price is pretty bullish. Look, on the Nasdaq, it's not like you need to be a rocket scientist to know that the last 100 years have been what? They've been up and to the right, right? So I get a lot of people coming in asking, hey, does this work for Euro USD? Or does this work for gold? Or does this work for Bitcoin? And it's like, the answer is, why do you want to trade anything else if this works? Like, what, like, is it just that you have to be a crypto trader? Did you tell like your family and friends that you have to trade, crypto to like be a trader? So we get kind of hung up on these ideas. So let it go. Anyways, okay, so what we want to do is we first want to get to the first 15 minutes of the New York session. And that's what I trade, is the New York session. So I'm Central Time Zone. So excuse me if I say 8:30, but it's 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're waiting for the market to open. We're waiting for that first 15-minute range. Now I've taken the orb strategy. This is a popular strategy. It's been around for quite a while. A very popular strategy that's out, and I've morphed it, and I've taken it and I've changed it for the better. And I think that a lot of people would agree when they see what I've done with it, where I'm waiting for a confluence instead of just taking the breakout. I'm waiting for price to give me confluence. So even though we're above the 21, we have momentum to the downside. Let's take a look at the indicator. We have our first 15-minute range. You can see the high and the low of that range is automatically marked with this little indicator. It's called the opening range breakout with targets. And I just have all the targets. It's a Lux Algo indicator. I have all the targets off. I just have the high and the low here. And so let's play one more candle. There it is. That's a 15-minute range behind us. And now we're looking for that breakout. And I'm looking for a close, right? So let's take a look just real quick. Let's just take a look at like, what does price look like it's doing, okay? Obviously, what direction does this look like it's going in on this time frame, the 5-minute? This is going down. We were previously going up. We can kind of see that in the daily candle as well, right? So let's kind of turn off the global stuff here. So we know that the temporary is down, right? Now, a lot of guys will come in here and ICT this thing and look at daily lows, and I could do the same thing. I've learned ICT strategies. I definitely know about liquidity. I teach about liquidity as well, because I think it's important to know, kind of where it might be at, daily levels, key levels, your session levels. These are important levels. Don't get me wrong, but I focus less on that, because with this strategy, you don't really need like any of that. You just don't need it, right? So anyways, going back to the strategy, I'm looking for a 5-minute break above or below this range. I have a red line on my TMT bands. So these bands right here are red. The center line is red, right? And so that's showing that momentum is down. Even if I didn't know structure, if I was a brand new trader, that's all I have to know. I know this too. I know that we have messed around inside of this range for a little while, right? And it is now, what time is it? 9:55. Yeah. So at this point, we're breaking down. We have structure to the downside. We have, you can see the crazy horse bands. The center line is red. And as soon as we break down outside of that 15-minute range on a 5-minute time frame, I'm good. And I also want to look at these candles. Like, does that look like a momentum push? Are the candles getting longer? Are they getting smaller? Just look at the way the candles are forming as well. So a little bit of candle theory in there as well, just for fun. But reality is, this is the trade setup. Now, here's where things get interesting. Ready, guys? If I click this auto button right here, this will auto adjust the chart to keep it in my view. So you can see if I zoom out, I'm still looking at the full chart. What you might not have known is if I use my long and short tool, let's say I use the short tool right here for trading view, and I just pop it up here, you'll notice that it automatically gives me a stop loss of 29 points. Now check this out. If I were zoomed way in like this, right, and I only saw this much of the chart, and I wanted to take a short, let's just put it up here, you'll see that now, instead of giving me a range of 29 points, it gives me 23 points. And vice versa. If I were to zoom way out like this, and I put a short up here, you can see now it's at 41 points, right? So what this is doing is automatically adjusting the long and short tool based off the volume that you're seeing on the chart. And I think that's really a cool thing, because especially when we're using hard stops. So in this example, what I would be doing is showing you a dynamic money management system for this example. I would say that, hey, this is a soft stop loss level. So you're going to do the math on your account, whether you're trading futures, whether you're trading CFDs, doesn't matter. You're going to do the math. You're going to say, hey, for 29 points, 29 points, I want to risk X amount on my account. Maybe it's 0.5%, 0.3%, something low. And let's say you do 0.5%, okay? That's fine. So for every 29 points that price travels, you're reaching 0.5%. This would be a full percent move right there. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully. So what that means is you're not getting out of the market if price runs against you. You're going to look to potentially add to your trade. Now, in this case, let's see what happens here. Price does pull back, actually. And this is a valid entry here to go short once again. By the way, if you want to see tons of back testing, the link is in the description. Join the free school group. I put it in there. I literally put everything in here that you're seeing and more. And then you can kind of go from there. But this is what you'd be doing. You'd be adding to this position. You would be holding this position. And that is because everything here looks great. The setup looks great. It's a good, solid setup. You'll learn what I like about setups, what I don't like about certain setups. And as you trade and spend time on the chart, you will have a better understanding of what setups work out typically and why they work out. And just as you spend more time on the charts, you'll get that. So now we know that our center line is, our break even is about right here. Right? This is about break even right there. So I'll mark that out. So that's our break even line. So price just needs to make its way back down there before we're break even. Let's see what price does. Very simple, went down to break even. At that point, you have options. You could potentially close out all your trades. You could do that. You could simply hold. We're looking for price to potentially break this low since our daily bias is to the downside. And I want to make something really clear. We did not break the top of the 15-minute range. And so we didn't break the top of that range. There's the top of the range up here. So our invalidation is if price closed a candle body out here, we would then have to rethink this. Okay, we would say, okay, this is invalidated now, and we would have to take our bias and turn it upside down. Now, just to be clear, I back tested the entire 2025, literally entire 2025 with this strategy, with these, with the indicator, exactly what I'm showing you right now. And there was not a single red day that I could find. Now, there were losing trades, obviously, But you have an option here. You can either use dynamic money management or you can use a hard stop. I probably should have said that sooner because I know a lot of people are like, oh man, this is risky adding to trades. It's not risky if you're not immature about it, okay? So you just have to be mature with your sizing. I mean, you have to understand sizing, right? And I think that is the big thing that a lot of people overlook anyways. But instead of death by 1,000 cuts, you now give yourself a massive, massive opportunity to now with this trade, you could have just taken your TP right there. You could have just gotten out of this trade right here with a win. And this trade, maybe you're holding that one, seeing what might happen there. And you can see the daily bias does not change. It does not change until right there. So, let's just say you would have held these. Let's say hypothetically, right? Worst case scenario, you would have held these. Oh boy, this is actually I'm glad that this happened and people think I fake back test. I don't fake back test. This happens all the time. But now you have to look at something that I didn't mention earlier, and I just want to mention it real quick. We do get this gray line. When the line turns to gray, it's showing a lack of that push, the lack of momentum. We also kind of like fail swung here. I do teach structure a little bit. We came up and then we break out. There's some type of news. Obviously, this is news. This is a 100% news candle. So in real life, we would not be trading this. And if you did have a chance to just get out of your trades and we knew that news was coming up, we would have definitely taken that. I also just want to mention one other thing. When we're almost at a take profit level on this first trade, like right here, there's no way that I would not have a break even stop on this. Those of you that trade live with me, you know what I'm saying. So we would have protected ourselves there as well. But I'm just going like, what would happen if you were brand new and you just didn't know any of that? Okay, so now your daily bias changes. We're going up, and check it out. So let's just call these either one large loss, or you can just look at them as two separate losses. It doesn't really matter. You can add that up. Now, the daily bias changes. We close a candle body under the blue line. This is absolutely where you would take the long right there. That's what we teach. And, being that we have two losses, you might want to, and this is some crazy news event, you might want to try to trail price. So let me go ahead and just play that out. Didn't know what was going to happen, but that's cool. So price comes down, you enter here, and now we're trailing. What does that mean? Well, at this point, I would have a break even stop. Once I see price break the high of this take profit level, I'm putting the break even stop on, and I'm looking for what we call a shelf. Hopefully it gives it to us. Yes, it does. Beautiful. Here's the shelf. So we now have a 5-minute structure. And if you know how I teach shelves and teach about shelves, you would know that this is where you'd be looking to now take your stop loss, bring it up to the middle or lower part of this consolidation range, and let price just kind of do its thing real quick. Let's see. Does it respect the shelf? No, it doesn't, but you can still hold. It's towards the end of the day. Let's see what happens. Okay, still trailing, and you'd probably be out right there because this would be, we'll just call it right there. So you get a nice little push here up to about right there. That is a 2.75 R on that trade. Now, I will tell you, if you were trading this and you wanted to just trail, and there is no dynamic money management for this trade. There are for these. There isn't for this. If that's confusing, I'm sorry. But there is no add down here. There's no band to add to your position. So you would just go full. So this would be like a 1% move. And in this case, you would make up 2.75% of your account. And here would be smaller. These would be smaller position sizes because you have bands above. So meaning you could potentially add to your position in these trades. Okay, so hopefully all of that kind of makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, join the free group and you'll see it's a really easy strategy. But you have to wait for these setups, and I would not be trading whatever that news was a little crazy. Let's go to the next day, okay? Let's just see, was it an anomaly? Like, is what I'm saying true? Did I really not have any losing days in 2025? Those of you in my school group, if you're watching this video, type something in the comments, smash the like button, let people know what you're seeing. Is it the real deal or not, man? And just be honest with people, let them know, because I want people to understand that what I'm telling you is 100% fact. I'm not lying to you. This is the real deal here. Okay, so now we have the orb high and low. So we have our 15-minute range. We're looking now for, let me zoom out here. We have our daily bouncing off the 21. We got the 50 underneath. So we're still looking bullish, nice bullish candle, sort of an engulfing candle. I already know this as well. I know that this is in the middle of a fair value gap. So we can go deep, right? I can like get into fair value gaps and liquidity and structure and all this stuff, but I just want to keep it super easy for you, okay? And for us, for me too. Trust me, this more simple a trading strategy is, the more luck you're going to have trading it, and we would have been short right here. Just I'm sorry that played out a little fast, but that is the strategy. And it would have gone like this, something like that. And you would have seen this. We'll go ahead and go global here. You would have seen this play out. And because of the speed of this candle, you might be able to trail. I would have the break even stop right at the take profit. And let's just see what happens. Okay, so price comes back, and that's pretty much your take profit level anyways. So we're good. So that's one win. Let's go ahead and keep playing. And I'm looking over here at the Crazy Horse bands. I'm looking for price to maybe come back up to the red line. There it is. I would add a short right there. So I'm going to be adding right here. Not adding, I'm sorry. Just getting into another position for the day. Okay, we can see that that is a win. Price comes back up, possibly another one. There's another one. So we will go ahead and take that as well. And we'll take that. Our daily bias is down, so we would definitely add to this position up here. This would be an add right there. And now we have two trades active at the same time. We have this one and this one. We're going to put the break even break even point right there. So we're looking for price to come back to break even. There's break even. Daily bias is still down, right? We have not broken the high. So this would be our invalidation area. All right, right here, X marks the spot. So we would simply hold this trade. I would hold this trade a little bit longer. We do have a blue line, so got to be a little bit careful. But right there, I would probably exit this first trade, probably the second trade as well, right about there. Nice trade because you're looking at one unit and about a half of this next unit, maybe a little less than half of the next unit of risk. Or what else could you do? Well, you could close your worst trade right here. So we could close this trade into profit, and then we could set a break-even stop on our first trade. So close the worst trade right down here, close this one out right here, and then trail this one right here. And where would that break-even stop be? It would be the break-even stop. That would be a break-even for now, but we'll see if we can get it pushed down. There's the leg down. You take the stop. You start trailing. And this is how you get massive, massive wins, guys. I don't see a lot of guys talking about trailing enough. Here we go. Price is pushing. Now we go real tight, and you can see just how crazy these wins can get. That's why so many people in our group are just crushing it right now. So now we have a little bit of consolidation. If this leg's down, I can move my stop lower. Let's see what happens. Okay, beautiful. Now we can take our stop, move it into the middle of consolidation. So this is the worst that can happen to this trade right now. Isn't that cool? And you get this all the time. Even if you lose a few in a row, you get these trailing runners like this that are just like incredible. So we'll pull this down, trail stop above this candle right here just to get the most out of this. And now we're trailing really tight because price is just taken off, right? In the middle of consolidation. Here we go. Once again, just massive. And it takes courage to hold this. It does. I know a lot of guys in our community, they complain about taking really small take profits and then really just letting the market run against them for way too long. So their wins are really small, but their losses are really big. And that's a problem. So we'd have been out right there, and that's an 8.71 R. So you end up taking these trades, and imagine had I held both of those. I mean, that would have been ridiculous. And this is how I was able to, one of the ways I was able to grow my account last year from 98,000 to over 257,000. So I don't think you need much more than even this strategy, right? But the other strategies are one strat for life model. I show it in the school group if you want to come in and learn it. I recommend it. I think it's awesome. You come into the community, you just go up to the classroom and you literally open up. Well, if you join the free group, you open up the classroom, you click on start challenge, And you can check out the One Strat for Life model. Actually, we have the 21 EMA model in here. That's right. I'm sorry. We don't have the One Strat for Life model in here. We have the 21 EMA and we have Crazy Horse. I might add the One Strat for Life model in here, but it is in our main community. And we just have so much awesome training in here, man. Like we have so many cool things in here to sink your teeth into. If you're coming in here and you're trying to learn trading for real, I don't know of a better group. I mean, like our community is extremely supportive, active. I'm in here every single day. Like people are asking me questions every single day. We just have tons of wins. I'm just so proud of like what we're building in here. So I wanted to put the video out that was a little bit longer. I know I've been releasing these 3-minute like tutorials. So I'm glad that you guys have been liking that. But look, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, all that stuff. I'm just here to provide value. I hope that you guys have a great trading week coming up. If you want to join me tomorrow night, 2-hour backtesting session, click the link in the description, join the free group, and eventually you'll make your way into the other group, okay? And you can unlock the backtesting sessions with me. It's all live. It's all real time. You can ask questions. You can come off a mute. I don't know what other trading group is doing that, but we're doing that. And we just want successful stories. We want success stories. That's what we're looking for. All right. That's it. Have a great rest of your weekend. Ciao.